Hello students, last time we talked about irrational equations. Today we are going to talk about reciprocal equations. Reciprocal equations are equations in which the coefficients located at equal distance from the beginning and from the end are equal or opposite. They are called reciprocal because they remain unaltered by changing x into 1 over x. Unaltered means unchanged. Examples. For example number 1, you see that the coefficient in x power 3 is 3, which is equal to 3. Then negative 7, which is equal to negative 7. Example number 2, you have 6, equal to 6. You have 1, the coefficient in x power 3, which is equal to 1, the coefficient in x. You have negative 43, which is equal to negative 43. On example number 3, we have 6, which is the opposite of negative 6. We have negative 41, opposite of 41. And you have 97, which is the opposite of negative 97. Example number 4, we have 1, the coefficient in x equals to 1. We have negative 10 equals to negative 10. As you see, for example number 1, 2, and 4, the coefficients located at equal distance are equal. But for example number 3, the coefficients located at equal distance are opposite. Like 6, negative 41, 41, 97, and negative 97. Also have seen that those equations are called reciprocal because they remain unchanged by changing x into 1 over x. Let's take an example here. For this one, we have 3x power 3 minus 7x squared minus 7x plus 3 equals to 0. Just we are going to replace x by 1 over x and see if we are going to get the same equation. Here, if we replace x by 1 over x, we get 3 over x power 3. Then here we get 7 over x squared. Then here we get minus 7 over x plus 3 equals to 0. Now, we're going to find the common denominator. As you see, the common denominator is x power 3. Here we divide, then we get 3 minus, here it is 7x, because x power 3 divided by x squared is x times 7 is 7x. Here we get minus 7x squared plus 3x power 3 equals to 3 over 1 equals to 0 over 1. Now we do cross multiplication. Then we get 3 minus 7x minus 7x squared plus 3x power 3, which is equal to 0. Now the same as 3x power 3 minus 7x squared minus 7x plus 3, which is equal to 0. As you see, we are getting the same equation. Now, to solve reciprocal equations of fourth degree, we follow the steps below. Step number 1, we have to divide each side by a squared. Step number 2, we have to group the term with the same power of x. Step number 3, put x plus 1 over x equals to y and find the reduced equation in the function of y. Example, solve in the center of real numbers the equation x power 4 plus x power 3 minus 4x squared plus x plus 1 equals to 0. Solution. Our equation is x power 4 plus x power 3 minus 4x squared plus x plus 1 equals to 0. As you see, this one is a reciprocal equation because the coefficient x power 4 is 1, then you have 1 here. the coefficient here is 1, even here it is 1. Okay, then we need to follow those three steps. Step number 1, we have to divide each side by x squared, which means that you have x to the power 4 plus x to the power 3 minus 4x squared plus x plus 1 divided by x squared equals to 0 over x squared. Then x to the power 4 over x squared we get a squared plus x to the power 3 divided by x squared we get x minus 4x squared over x squared it is 4 plus 1 over x, then plus 1 over x squared, then is equal to 0. Step number 2, we have to group the terms with the same power of x, which means that we group x squared and 1 over x squared, and we group this one and this one. Now you have x squared plus 1 over x squared plus 1 over plus x plus 1 over x minus 4 equals to 0. Step number 3, we need to write this expression, let x plus 1 over x equals to y. As you see, we want to express this equation here in terms of y. Then if you have this, then we need this expression here. To get this expression, we need to square both sides. Now this equation number 1, squaring both sides, squaring both sides, we get, you have now x plus 1 over x squared is equal to y squared. Then remember that a plus b squared equals to a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. Then now we get x squared plus 2x over x plus 1 over x squared equals to y squared. Then we get x squared, x over x will simplify, then we get plus 2 plus 1 over x squared equals to y squared. Then we get x squared plus 1 over x squared, which is equal to y squared minus these 2 here, minus 2. As you see now, we are able to get this expression here. Now let this one be equation number 2. Now, as you see, we have this expression and this one. We are going to replace x plus 1 over x and a squared plus 1 over a squared by their values in this equation here. What do we get now? Okay, our equation is x squared plus 1 over x squared plus x plus 1 over x minus 4 equals to 0. And we have seen that a squared plus 1 over a squared is equal to y squared minus 2 plus, then x plus 1 over x, it is equal to y, then minus 4 equals to 0. Then you have x squared plus y, negative 2, negative 4, it is negative 6 equals to 0. Now we're going to solve this quadratic equation. Then delta equals to b squared minus 4ac. Now in this equation, a is equal to, a is the coefficient in x squared is equal to 1, b is the coefficient in y equals to 1, and c is the independent term which is negative 6. Then we replace now, delta equals to b is 1, it is 1 minus 4ac, now it is plus 24 equals to 25. Square root of delta, remember that we have seen this, is equal to square root of 25. Then we get 5. Now we need y1 equals to minus b plus square root of delta over 2a equals to b is equal to 1, then negative is negative 1, plus 5 over 2a, 2 times 1 is 2, equals to 4 over 2, then we get 2. y2 equals to, is minus b minus square root of delta over 2a equals to negative 1, negative 5 over 2 equals to negative 6 over 2 equals to negative 3. Now, as you see, we have two values of y. Now, remember that we suppose that y is equal to x plus 1 over x. Now, we are going to replace each value of y in this equation in order to get the value of x. See, we have y which is equal to x plus 1 over x, same as x plus 1 over x equals to y. Now, we have got the two values of y. The first value is, I've seen that y1 is equal to, y1 is equal to 2, and y2 is equal to negative 3. Now, if y is equal to 2, now we have x plus 1 over x equals to 2. Now it seems that we have x over 1. Common denominator is x, so we get now x squared plus 1 over x equals to 2. Then we get x squared plus 1, which is equal to cross multiplication 2x. Then we get x squared minus 2x plus 1 equals to 0. This one, as you know, is x minus 1 squared equals to 0, which means that here we have a repeated root x1 is equal to x2 equals to 1. Now, if y is equal to negative 3, now we have x plus 1 over x equals to negative 3. Just x squared plus 1 over x equals to negative 3. X squared plus 1 equals to negative 3x. X squared plus 3x plus 1 equals to 0. Now we need to solve this equation. Just is x squared plus 3x plus 1 equals to 0. Now we're going to use the delta. Delta is equal to b squared minus 4ac. A is equal to 1, b is equal to 3. A is the coefficient in x, then d3 is b. Then c is equal to 1. Then here you get 9 minus 4ac. It is 9 minus 4. Then delta equals to 5. Square root of delta is equal to square root of 5. Now we need x1 and x2. x1 is equal to minus b plus square root of delta over 2a equals to b is equal to 3, it is negative 3 plus square root of 5 over 2a, 2. Then x2 equals to minus b minus square root of delta over 2a equals to negative 3 minus square root of 5 over 2. Now we need to write our solution. Solution set. Now we have those two values, and the other values that the other one value that you have got, it is 1, negative 3 plus root 5 over 2, and negative 3 negative square root of 5 over 2. Now this is our solution. Exercise: solve in the set of real numbers each of the following equations. Just so you have exercise point A and point B. Thank you so much.